I low-key look like a don't hug me, I'm scared character, huh? Like a monster or something. Hi guys, it's Nyra. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. What's up? Today's video is going to be a self-care slash self-confidence, like chit chat, get ready with me. I'm going to be giving you guys some like life-changing self-care and self-confidence tips, like stuff I've really started applying to myself since like middle school that really have shaped me into the confident bad bee woman that I am today. So yeah, let's let's get into it. Also, you love my earrings. I got them in New York. Okay, so rule number one to be a boss: never let a clown try to play you. So first thing I want to discuss is number one. My number one tip at the top of the list is going to be boundaries slash putting yourself first, because the two go hand in hand. Essentially, they're the same thing. So what I mean by boundaries is, like literally setting boundaries for yourself and for people. And that sounds intimidating and it sounds like strict and harsh and scary. But a boundary could be, you know what? I have a really mentally, emotionally draining job. There's a lot of human interaction, and when I get home from work, I just don't feel like talking to anyone on the phone, so I'm not taking phone calls after work. That's a boundary. And that's you putting your needs first. In order to really understand what self-care is about, you have to remember that you are no good to anyone if you're not okay yourself. You cannot be the best girlfriend, the best sister, the best daughter, the best whatever, the best mom. You cannot be the best you that you can be if you are not taking care of yourself. So that's where boundaries come in. You have to learn how to put yourself first so that you can in turn be the best version of yourself for and to other people. A boundary could be, I only want to hang out on weekdays. My weekends, I just really want to reserve them for myself and for getting ready for the work week, or for praying and meditating. That's a boundary. Whatever you dread doing, and this also goes back to something that I promised myself I was going to focus on in 2020, and so far I've been doing pretty good. But whatever feels like peace, choose that. That to me goes hand in hand with putting yourself first. Whatever feels peaceful, whatever feels like, okay, this is what I need. This is what's feeding my soul. This is what's going to make me happy. And this is not just in relation to other people. Sometimes we are our own worst enemy, Sometimes we are the ones that ask for too much of ourselves. We're the ones that overwork ourselves. Sometimes you have to set boundaries to protect you from yourself. Maybe one of your boundaries is, I'm not going to talk bad about myself anymore because, I don't deserve that. I wouldn't accept it from someone else, so why do it to myself? One of the boundaries I'm still mastering for myself is not talking on the phone when I don't want to. I live a few states away from my family, and so I feel bad when I don't pick up their calls all the time, especially if I'm not busy. But sometimes it's just a boundary for me. Sometimes it's just like, I tell myself, make it a point to call them back, keep your word. And I'll send a text, hey, I'll call you back. Or I'll just say to myself, you're gonna call them back before the night's over or before tomorrow. And I like to keep my word to myself and to my family. But if I am just not in the mood to talk, because I'm very introverted, I'm a Cancer, so I'm super sensitive to energy. Sometimes I'm just not in the mood, and I have a job where I interact with people all day, and so sometimes I'm really drained from human interaction, and I'm having a conversation with someone is the last thing I want to do. My next tip, number 2 on the list, is fake it till you make it. Now, this one's gonna take a little bit of explaining. Don't take this at face value. Allow me to explain. This one really is about self-confidence and believing in yourself even when you don't believe in yourself, and thinking you're cute even when you don't really think you're cute. It's a little bit of doing some tricky psychology on yourself. So let's get into it. When you tell yourself something enough times, you're going to believe it. Y'all know how when you see people tell themselves or tell a lie, they don't even have to necessarily say it directly to themselves. People tell a lie so many times that they start to believe it. It's because your brain wants to trust you. Your brain's natural instinct, your brain's natural reaction is to want to trust you. You know, why wouldn't you want to trust yourself? And so this works in instances, like I said, somebody tells a lie so many times that they forget it's a lie and they start to believe it. But this also works with the way that you speak to and about yourself. If you go, ugh, I'm so fat every morning when you look in the mirror, guess what you're gonna start to believe, even if you are literally 100 pounds soaking wet. You're gonna believe that you're fat. If you start saying, why would I do that? I am so stupid. Guess what you're gonna start to believe? You're so stupid. And whether it be consciously or subconsciously, you're going to start behaving that way. You're going to start feeling bad when you eat certain things and when you put certain things on because you're thinking, because your brain subconsciously is like, oh, I'm fat, I shouldn't be wearing this. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. You're going to start saying, oh, I don't deserve this opportunity. I can't apply for this job because even though I meet the qualifications, I think I'm stupid because you've called yourself dumb so many times. Don't do that. If we spoke to ourselves positive speech as much as we do negative speech, literally anything is possible. And that is not easy, which is why you have to start telling yourself things even if you do not initially believe it. You see how I just connected the dots there? I'm a genius. It starts with knowing something but not believing it, if you know what I mean. If you care enough to increase your self-care and increase your self-confidence, you may not feel beautiful, but you know you're beautiful, which is why you want to feel beautiful. You know that you should not be feeling the way about yourself that you do. So when you look in the mirror, even if you don't feel like that chick, just look in the mirror and go, I am so pretty, I'm so beautiful. Even if you feel like you've made some dumb decisions lately, be kind to yourself and say, I'm so smart. Even if you don't believe that, like, you tell yourself lies that are damaging literally all the time. So why can't you lie to yourself and say something that you don't believe and say something that you don't think is true to better yourself? You know what I mean? You do it to hurt you. Make a list of things that maybe you struggle with and remind yourself that it's gonna get better and that you are beautiful and that you're smart and that you're sweet and caring and that you are capable of achieving the things that you want. Like I said, it's about positive speech, and the way that you speak to yourself can literally change the course of everything. It'll change your actions, it'll change your mood, it'll change your mindset. So tip 2 is fake it till you make it. The third tip is going to be, when you look good, you feel good, right? Yes. And so that's not to say you need to be in a full face of makeup every day and you always need your hair laid and you know what I mean? But just like making sure that you look well enough to at least feel like yourself is so important. A tip that I've always really liked is just dress for the job you want, not the job you have. Especially if you don't feel fulfilled and the job that you work is not your dream job, or like, you know, it's not taking you to your ultimate goal. When you look in the mirror and you like what you see a difference in the way that you interact with people, the way that you perform at work, the way that you perform at school. Like it truly is psychological. Like all of a sudden I have a PhD in psychology, but for real, guys, it really is psychological. When you look good, you're going to act like it. You feel like the best version of yourself. You're going to present the best version of yourself. And so that ties in with fake it till you make it, because you're not always going to wake up and feel great. But guess what? Something you can do to feel better, something you can do to feel more like yourself, something you can do to like the person that you see when you look in the mirror and like the person that you are, is to just make sure that you look good. Like, and it sounds shallow, but it truly is so much more cathartic than that. And that's also a part of self-confidence. If you feel, this is what I love about makeup. If you feel the most confident in makeup, wear makeup every day. And then eventually that confidence is going to bleed into every other area of your life. It sounds crazy, but like makeup gave me 80% of my confidence, maybe even 85. When I initially was not so confident in how I looked, and I discovered makeup as a tool for that, I started to love myself even out of makeup, even when I didn't have makeup on. It's difficult to explain. I don't even know really how that works, but I know that I'm not alone in that. I've heard a lot of other people that wear makeup say that. It's just something about, for me, I guess, it's something about liking what you see in the mirror, and then you can take your makeup off and be like, oh, I'm still that same person, you know? I'm still sweet, and I'm still funny, and I'm still caring, and I liked who I was when I looked in the mirror when I had makeup on, so why can't I now? You know, I don't know how else to explain it. And my last tip is going to be heal your traumas. This, like, it sounds like, oh, what does that have to do with self-confidence, or what does it have to do with self-care? But like, this is the root of it. A lot of times the reason you feel ugly, the reason you don't feel worth anything, the reason you don't like the person that you see in the mirror, the reason you're never satisfied and you can never give yourself credit is because you've probably been through something traumatic, or you deal with mental illness like anxiety, depression, whatever. You don't get to ignore it. You literally don't. You have to deal with it. Sorry, sucks to suck. You have to deal with it. This is speaking from experience, y'all. This is speaking from years of therapy, and I still deal with it, especially if and while you're still young. That way you can live at least most of your adult life like you got some sense, and don't let your traumas hold you down forever. Whether your parents were abusive, whether you didn't have a hard childhood and you were privileged or whatever, but you just deal with anxiety, depression, or feelings of self-worth, or like lack thereof self-worth, or just whatever it is, go to therapy. If you don't have the means to go to therapy, then if you're watching this, you have access to the internet, and so you can look up self-help and how to deal with it yourself. But like, do what you can. Don't go down without a fight. Don't let traumas win, because I promise you, if you're not fighting trauma, it's winning. But when you pull back the curtain and say, okay, why am I feeling this way? Why do I think these things about myself? Why do my relationships go the way that they do? Why do I react to people the way that I do? When you pull back the curtains and you look deeper and you say, it's because the loss of a parent, it's because of my anxiety, and the root of it is this and this abuse and that trauma, and it's powerful, because you're literally taking the power back from your traumatic experiences. You didn't choose to go through them, and so you had no control over that, and it made you feel powerless, and it made you feel hopeless. But when you have the opportunity to seize it and to control it and to learn how to manage it and how to deal with it and how to you can't get rid of everything, but get rid of it as much as you can, you feel powerful, you feel confident, you feel proud of yourself. Self-care and self-confidence is also acknowledging when you look good, man, because look the way that I look right now. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope this video reaches somebody, touches somebody, you take some advice from this video. If you're gonna take literally just one thing from this video, go to therapy, address your past traumas, heal yourself. It will change your life. I promise you, it will change your life. It's better to start early than later. Okay, I'll shut up about it. That's enough. I'm done preaching. If you enjoyed this video, leave me a like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Head on over to Instagram and follow me. I want to hit 100K by the end of 2020. So go ahead and follow your girl on Instagram. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Girl, I know you wanna. You know I wanna. Yeah, she keep giving me look hotter than the 6 in the summer. Dead ass, girl, I want. Girl, I know you wanna.